on this episode of Catherine Reads Bridgerton.
Okay, am I supposed to care about this couple? Personally fight anyone with the last name of Bridgerton. Oh honey, if that's what you think love is. Again, the bar is so low in these books. Oh, this book was published in the year 2000. I feel like that explains so much. She really wrote that first one and was like, here, I am setting the bar on the ground. Can only go up from here. Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. So recently, everyone has been talking about Bridgerton, and I haven't watched the show yet. Been out for like a couple weeks at this point, but I actually really wanted to read the book before watching the TV show because I've heard a lot about the book series ever since the TV show came out, especially the first one, which this first season is based off of. There's been like a lot of controversy about certain things that happen. A lot of people are like, you can just watch the TV show, skip the first book, go on to the second book. So I'm not going to do that, and instead I'm going to read the first book, and I'm actually going to try and be reading the entire series. So I am starting out with The Duke and I, which is the first book in the Bridgerton series. From my understanding, it is about Daphne, who is the fourth child of the Bridgertons, and from what I know, each book is based on a different child. I think there's 7 of them, maybe. Again, I haven't seen the TV show, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. I'm excited to see what the hype is about, so I'm getting started today. I just got the audiobook from the library a couple days ago, and there's 20 people in line behind me. So I'm gonna try and listen to it all the way through today, or maybe over the next 2 days, and see how that goes. Hey, how's it going? It's me. I'm already halfway through the book. It's a pretty fast listen. I have mixed feelings about this book. So I was right, this is about Daphne, who is the fourth child, the first daughter. So she has 3 older brothers. Daphne, she's not like other girls. Guys just see her as like a friend. I hate that trope where it's like, I don't know, I don't really get along with other girls. It's just so annoying. She also, the amount of times something has happened and they've been like, how can you punch like that? How can you do like that? How do you know about these things? She's like, I have 3 older brothers. And it's like, chalk up this woman's accomplishments and her like ability to do things to the fact that she has 3 older brothers. A weirdly specific trope that happens way too much in fiction. I will say I did really like the Duke and her's relationship for this first half until certain things happen. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really like their relationship until something happens. And then suddenly all the chemistry goes away. Basically, they're like fake dating. Simon and Daphne, they make this deal to kind of fake courtship in order to get guys to see Daphne as a potential partner and for him to basically be seen as like interested in someone. So therefore, all the like crazy moms of London will leave him alone and stop trying to set him up with their daughters. That concept I absolutely love. Totally love fake dating, one of my favorite tropes. And I love the entire part where they are fake dating. I think it's really great. Now that we're getting into kind of past that part, I feel like a lot of the chemistry has kind of disappeared. I'm kind of uncomfortable with some of the like deals they've suddenly come to strike. I don't know. I'm not totally comfortable with some of their relationship and how it's developed. We'll see what happens in the second half of this book. So far, I am enjoying it though. Like, I won't say I'm not enjoying it. Like, I listened to it for 3 hours straight and didn't stop. So I'm enjoying this book. Let's see what happens in the second half. So I have finished The Duke and I, and I have some thoughts. So I knew going into this book, I had like read some people's thoughts, and I had heard some people talk about how there is a scene with some dubious consent. I was curious to see how that was like handled and like what exactly all happens. I guess I was kind of hopeful that like, yes, this scene happens, but then like it's addressed in some way, and I don't know what I expected. What I didn't expect was it to be so victim blamey. Oh my god. Basically, the entire thing is just blamed on Simon. So I was not a fan of that. And it basically just made me not like the characters for the rest of the book. I think it could have been handled very differently. I think that scene was absolutely not necessary. I can think of several ways, and I already didn't really like Daphne, and it made me not like her even more. Like, the book went from right before the halfway point, literally right before the halfway point, I was like, this book is great. Probably gonna be like 4 stars because Daphne is annoying, but I love their chemistry and I love their banter and their relationship's super cute. And then like I hit the halfway point, I'm like, oh, maybe 3 stars, and then you get to that scene and I was like, no. I really want to watch the show because there are some actors in there that I love, and I am excited to see some of the side characters in the other books. So I am gonna continue with the series because I am curious. Everyone said that like the rest of the books are really good and they don't have those issues, which I'm looking forward to. What I'm not looking forward to is I don't like Anthony. I love Colin. I don't think we really know anything too much about Benedict in the first one. You see a lot more of like Colin and Anthony, so yeah, I don't really have any opinions on him. And then the other ones are like so much younger that I again don't really have any opinions on those siblings. If I do end up watching the show, I'll tell you some of my thoughts on that. Let's go. Okay, so I've started the TV show and I just finished the first episode and I'm already digging it. The Duke is so handsome, and I know everyone's been talking about that already, but like, wow, okay. I also like that there are some things that I have a feeling come up in the later books, so I'm interested to read those books to see like what happens. I freaking love Penelope already on my heart and soul. I don't know who this Mariana is. I don't know if she like comes up in later books. I really love the cinematography of it, and also like Julie Andrews as Lady Whistledown. Wow, amazing, immaculate. I'm just gonna watch the rest tonight and I'll tell you guys what I think. Hi, so I finished the TV show of Bridgerton, and I have some thoughts. So first of all, I will say I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed the first book, mostly because it followed more than just Daphne and the Duke. We got a lot of Eloise, we got Penelope, we got a lot more Benedict, who we didn't get like at all in the first book. Not as much Colin, so I'm interested to see his story and how that develops through the books as well as the TV show. There was also quite a few characters added in, and I'm not sure if they are characters that we see later, like we meet in the later books. I'm not sure exactly how that's all going to work. I hated Anthony even more in the show than in the book, which I didn't know was possible, which is concerning because the next book is all Anthony. I don't know how I'm gonna read an entire book of Anthony because I don't get the appeal of the like alpha male, like him having to control everything and oh, he's the protector but he like doesn't even have his own life under control. I don't get that appeal. I've seen people online who like love him and they're like, oh, mutton chops, and I'm like, no. So we'll see if I end up liking him more in the book, but I highly doubt it. Hi, so just checking in because I am about halfway through the second Bridgerton book, and okay, first of all, I love Kate. I think she's so much fun. So for this second book, it does follow the oldest Bridgertons, and the first son, Anthony Bridgerton, which okay. And also Kate, who is the oldest daughter of a good family, and they aren't like rich or anything, but like they're still upper class. They are part of the Don, but she's always overlooked for her younger sister, who's just like, she's more conventionally attractive. She's always like been able to act a little more demurely and graceful and whatever. Anthony basically decides that this is the year that he has to get married, but he doesn't want to marry anyone he's going to fall in love with because he's convinced that he's going to die. His dad died when he was like 36. Anthony's like, my dad was amazing. I could never surpass anything that my dad does. Therefore, there's no way I could surpass living till 36, 38, in a couple years, basically. Still very young. So we got a dude with some daddy issues, which again seems to be the theme of these books. So far, my problem is that it's different enough from the first book, but it's not very different. Luckily, I like Kate way more than I like Daphne. I could not stand Daphne. Kate, however, she's a lot of fun. I am, again, though, having the issue of I'm not seeing any, like, emotional connection between the couple, or, like, main couple. It very much is, like, a physical attraction thing, which is, like, fine, but I want more. One of the reasons why I love things like period dramas and, like, historical romances, although I haven't read that many historical romances, but, like, historical fiction is like, there are those certain things in society that makes it so like they can't like, you know, touch as much. They can't like have as much of that like physical interaction. Therefore, it like there's so much more tension because it's all taboo. And I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not getting that like emotional tension that I feel like there should be. I will say though, Anthony is kind of growing on me. I hated him for the first, like, I was gonna say 2/4 of the book, but that would be half. I'll like say like right up until the halfway point, I'm like literally at the 50% mark, and he's kind of changed. And I have a little bit of a better feeling about him, but we'll see. We'll see if he truly changes. I had to check back in before the end because Anthony is growing on me. He hasn't totally redeemed himself, but he is growing on me. It might just be because I like Kate so much. Like, I love her. I still hate Anthony though, but not as much as I did before. Hi, so I have finished the second Bridgerton book. Don't ask me the name of it. I don't know. The Viscount... something about it. The Viscount who was scared of bees. The Viscount who... what is this book even called? The Viscount Who Loved Me. Really? That's the name of it? Oh, honey, if that's what you think love is. Anyway, my thoughts on this book. In the end, I didn't hate Anthony as much as I thought I would. Is that a good thing? Or was my like bar just so low? I will say I'm not quite sure where like the TV show has got some of its plot points, because so many of them were not present in this book, which like whatever, a TV show's a TV show, book's a book. They are what they are. I did actually end up liking this a little bit more. Am I only saying I liked it a little bit more because there wasn't a like basically sexual assault that was then very easily forgiven and excused? Maybe. In the end, it was okay. I am hopeful for the next book though, because the next book is Benedict, who in the TV show I absolutely loved and adored. He was probably my favorite of all of the brothers so far. So I'm very hopeful for him. I'm very hopeful that maybe this story is a little bit different, because the last one was literally... So far I feel like The Duke and I and The Viscount Who Loved Me, stupid title, were very like copy and paste from each other. Like some of the character personalities were different, some things in the relationship were different, but like most of the major plot points were like exactly the same. Like literally, like it felt like Julia Quinn had like her like outline sheet, and she's like, okay, here's the part where they have to get married because they get found in like not good circumstances or whatever. Those are my thoughts. I'm excited to get to Benedict's book. God, she better not ruin Benedict for me. If she ruins Benedict for me, I might cry. Okay, so I'm only a quarter of the way through the third Benedict story. What are these books even called? An Offer from a Gentleman. Only a quarter of the way through, and I already like it so much better because it's like a Cinderella retelling. What the heck? It's so sweet. So this one, it follows Sophie and Benedict. So Sophie is this girl who was the bastard daughter of a duke? No, an earl. I believe he's an earl. She was taken as the earl's ward. So he's not acknowledging her as his daughter, even though they like obviously look alike, and everyone's like, we all know that that's your daughter. He marries, of course, this woman who has 2 daughters, so her stepsisters. He dies, and now she's being looked after by her stepmother, her evil stepmother. So she grows up as a servant in the household. She like is no longer being taught all the lessons and everything. She grows up as a servant. And then the Bridgertons have a masquerade ball. Oh my god, I love this so much. The Bridgertons have a masquerade ball, and the servants, so all the servants that work with Sophie, they get her a dress and send her to the ball. It's so sweet. She meets Benedict, they dance, and it's like everything I've been looking for in all the other couples interactions, where there's like the emotional tension and like it's so much more sweet and so much more like caring than any of the other interactions, and I'm so happy. Anyway, I'm excited to finish this one because I'm probably just gonna finish it today. I am so mad. What did I say when I started this book? If she ruined Benedict for me, I would cry. Currently, my current state is I will personally fight anyone with the last name of Bridgerton. Okay, what's so terrible that happened? Hey Benedict, here's like a little hint for you. If a girl says that she doesn't want to become your mistress several times, is very adamant about it, don't kidnap her and basically make her be your mother's lady's maid. I wish that was a joke. Okay, my storage keeps on getting full. I'm gonna try and talk as quickly as possible. Basically, I'm upset because Benedict was doing so good and he was like doing all the right things at the beginning, and then he just messed it all up and ruined everything. And I'm just like, if Anthony had done this, I would have been like, yeah, it sounds like Anthony. Of course he did. But it was Benedict. And I feel personally betrayed. So I'm gonna finish this, but he better turn some things around because he's got a lot to make up for. And the worst part is that this entire time I'm just like, well, at least he didn't sexually assault anyone. The bar is so low. It is on the ground. These books. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hi, so I have officially finished the 3rd Bridgerton book, and you know what? Benedict redeemed himself. Did he redeem himself fully? No, he was still like not great from basically the halfway point to like the 3/4 of the way point. But after that, he did do some self-reflection, figured some stuff out, and he got better. So there's some things that I can be like, okay, I really want there to be a situation where the couple gets married because they like 100% like both agree and want to get married, not because they are thrown into some sort of circumstances that mean that they basically have to get married. And like, I get that they love each other in the end, but yeah, I'd rather they actually like want to get married. And unfortunately that's been like a problem with all 3 books. So The fourth one is the Colin and Penelope book. Again, I keep on forgetting the names of these books. Why am I so terrible at this? I am excited for this, mostly because I do really like Penelope. I'm interested to see if something from the show is the same as what happens in the books. I'm kind of conflicted because Colin hasn't really shown any real interest in Penelope up until this point, I guess. And so I'm interested to see how that all works out. I also am a little bit frustrated because Penelope, like, she started off the series where, like, she was plus sized, and now that we are onto this book, it has been mentioned that she's, like, lost the weight, and so she is, like, more of an acceptable weight. And why couldn't they have kept her plus sized? I have enjoyed Colin. I think I mentioned, like, in the first book, he was, like, one of the only ones besides Anthony where we really saw the sibling, and I really liked him. So I'm still holding out hope for this series. And I have noticed that Julia Quinn's writing has gotten better through the books, so hopefully it gets better with this one as well. Hi, so I've reached the halfway point, and y'all, I'm kind of hopeful. I'm like, this is actually working out well. I'm in shock. I did not expect for me to, like, be enjoying this as much as I am, mostly because of what's been happening in the other few books that I've read. Okay, so things that I'm liking. I love Penelope. There's part of me that's ranking these books in terms of, like, which of the heroines I project most on, and, like, Penelope, my girl. And I'm really liking the, like, kind of friends to lovers type situation that her and Colin have, where they have been, like, friends, and then in this book their friendship definitely develops and they become, like, really good friends, and then maybe something more. Y'all know what happens. It's a romance book. But yeah, so far their, like, relationship almost seems healthy. I know, I was shocked as well. I'm really hoping Colin doesn't ruin it for me. I'm rooting for you, boy. Don't disappoint me. Hi, so I think the last time I checked in, I was at the 50% mark of will I remember what these books are called? Whatever, the fourth Bridgerton book, Colin's book. Did I check in for the 50% mark? Honestly, I can't remember. Here were my thoughts at the 50% mark. Love Penelope. She was great. Colin was also great. I loved their, like, dynamic and their banter. Overall, I was really enjoying it at that point. And then we got to the end, and surprise, I actually liked this one. I wouldn't say it was without its problems, though. First of all, Colin definitely has a bit of a temper, and I feel like there were some parts that very much, like, tried to brush over that and, like, be like, oh yeah, he was angry and we're not really going to address that. I'm like, I feel like this is something that should be addressed. Overall, though, it was a really good time. I felt like I finally read a book where the male protagonist actually respected the female, and not just because he was attracted to her. Call me crazy, but I think a guy should respect a girl for, you know, more than just, oh, I, like, am very much turned on by her. Like, yeah, I definitely think this one so far is my favorite, which I'm so happy about. I was really worried that I just wouldn't like any of these books, and I hate being negative on this channel. I really don't want to be that person who's, like, constantly bringing down books, and, like, I'd rather talk about the books that I like than the books that I don't like. That's a lot more my thing. So I finished that last night, and I did immediately move on to Eloise's story.
Next time on Catherine Reads Bridgerton.
Already, we are not off to a great start with this one. And I'm actually kind of liking it. I'm not having a bad time. Like, this isn't, like, a great work of historical romance. Your wife obviously knows nothing about marital relations, and you took full advantage of that. Gross. And I just don't, like, I don't need to read 8 books about angry men. I don't want to finish the books.